so ready.
That's what I mean. Someone plays Karma, like, oh, this is great. I'm throwing out Qs. I'm making everyone run away. I'm having fun. Like, this is my not fun voice. When you play Bard, you're like, I'm slapping people with meats. I'm dropping Tempered Fate. Like, Hail Mary, go long. Like, perfect Zero champion. High in roam, pulls the trigger, has a giant golden go button. That's what Zero is about.
And also plays very well into the Jhin at the same time. The fact that you can Tempered Fate every time he throws down that curtain call, deny a lot of that ultimate damage. Hecarim, though, is already locked in here for Akon, as it is going to be the Karma picked up in response to that Bard.
Yeah, so like you said, maybe the Bard swaying.
Whoa. Okay, so 957 just locks Aurelia in to Hecarim. This is exactly the matchup that Lupa dominated him in.
Big issue, too, is the fact that Aurelia's ultimate has been nerfed on the 6.13 patch, which is the patch that we're playing on. So we'll see who gets the shove in this and if 957 is able to manipulate his way through this. But in tandem, Mystic is going to be the one that picks up the gen. So again, STYZ, I don't want it. I see the Bard. I don't want to be countered. Mystic's like, this is cool. I'm fine.
Well, March as well is actually looking at taking the Hecarim for himself here, as it is Acorn considering the Shen pickup, of course. Has been considered that counter pick into the Aurelia. Would make a lot of sense, and I do like the adaptation.
Shen does really well into Trinity Force users, and likewise, it comes to such a point, like, Aurelia will take control of the matchup when she gets her itemization, but early on it's fairly difficult, simply because what Shen will do is he'll just build up a larger minion wave, and as a melee top laner, you approach to farm the creeps, and Shen just taunts you into his horde of minions. And you're like, this is fun.
I don't have a lot I can do here, as STYZ hops back to his comfort pick on the Caitlyn. Had seen a lot of bans against the team. In fact, 63% of the bans against Saint have been Caitlyn.
And this just tells the story of how strong STYZ is on Caitlyn. It's like every good story starts with a love story, and this is the love story of Saint. Caitlyn is in a really rough spot right now. I know globally EU still kind of likes her, but her itemization is just really poor compared to the other AD carries that are taking over. People like Sivir, like Ashe, like Jhin in particular, because they can itemize into that the Ghost Blade or the Essence Reaver, the Caulfield Hammer. So they take long swords on their first back, whereas Caitlyn, if you don't back on that BF sword, you're pretty much screwed, or you lose a ton of power. Even going for a pickaxe, it's just a very delayed initial power spike before you become relevant.
And that power trough is very difficult to deal with, as Swain is going to be locked in. Xie going to be taking the Birdmaster into the mid lane against the Rise.
We've got like 6 top laners in this game.
Yeah, there are a lot of top laners.
There's actually 4.
Right,
nope, there's 5. I'm going to count Hecarim.
You can count Karma as well.
No. That was too far. There was a line atlas, and that was over the line.
Originally, Karma was played on the top side of the map before she got changed.
We're drawing the line.
Okay,
that was it. But so far from Saint, you have a very go button composition. They've got great scaling potential. They do have a bit of a mid-game trough unless STYZ can really get ahead. But this is the idea that Hecarim runs in, Shen ults him, and they start a big fight where Rise is able to catch up in tandem with Karma. On the other side, you have a lot of 5v5 potential, but the go buttons are not on the top laner, it's on the bottom lane. The Tempered Fate into the Curtain Call.
Yeah.
So applying those slows and allowing time for Swain and Aurelia to just kind of move into team fights.
The scary thing is that's in tandem with the Rek'Sai as well, which can control the vision around the map so effectively with that Tremor Sense. The fact that Zero is going to be unlocked to control the pace of this game is going to be very, very scary for Saint. But you're exactly right with what you're telling me about their team comp, because it really just feels like they've got a go button and they'll go. And speaking of which, let's get into game number 2 between Saint and WE. Thank you very much, Akon, and here we are onto the riff for game number 2 between Saint and WE, and we'll see whether Saint, now on the blue side, will be able to bite back after the disappointing loss in game number 1, whether WE are going to be able to close things out. At the moment, Looks like Saint did get the better end of the draft, my opinion. My humble opinion.
So my issue with Hecarim jungle, and I'm not saying that it's bad by any means. I actually think it's very good. But it has this very interesting thing where typically you see a Hecarim jungle, you're like, oh, that's going to be a farm-heavy jungle. Because if you build towards the Trinity Force, which I don't think that you need to as the Hecarim jungle, I actually probably think that the tank build with through Cinderhulk is much stronger.
Yeah.
Because he just does ridiculous damage anyway. It's very expensive itemization coming from the jungle with a lower gold cost. And it just takes longer to get him to that point. But then he also has this window where he's still a good ganker if he has hard CC in his lanes, like a Taunt, like a Rune Prison. So I'm just curious which route March is going to take. Is he going to be more farm-oriented, look for those big purchase item power spikes, or is he going to try to get involved in his mid and his top lane and snowball that direction?
Yeah, well, we actually saw SOFM, I believe, take the Hecarim and then build a lot of damage. Actually went for a Trinity Force before finishing off his Cinderhulk.
Yep.
I mean, that was a bit silly. So we'll see whether he takes the full damage route, whether it is going to be a little bit more, I guess, conservative. I think Iceborne Gauntlet's so powerful as well on the Hecarim.
We'll keep tabs on March and see what he happens to come across. Meanwhile, keeping tabs, STYZ and Maidong are actually looking for the cheeky Afrika level 1. So see if Zero and Mystic fall for this.
Well, he's going to be able to get a meat slap. The Q damage is going to go off. However, Mystic makes it to the lane unscathed. And there are biscuits aplenty here for Zero.
Yep, could have been a much worse case scenario, but Team W actually come out of that pretty consistently, and with the extra experience of the Gromp, will get Mystic to that level 2 point. Unfortunately, not able to abuse it.
No, not quite. We'll have a Deadly Flourish, though, available for himself, and to get some decent grenade damage onto Maidong as well. Cosmic Bindings are flying through, but it's a nice Q there, and the shield now with the 2 available from Maidong. Looking good. Oh, Beatrice doing work onto Otto here in the mid lane for Xie.
And fun fact about Maidong, if you would like to make him your favorite player in the LPL, like he's become our favorite player in the office, his name means pulsating current, or bright pulsating star.
All right, so he's like a Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, if we're going to go back to something that doesn't sound as sinister.
Or kind of like controls the wind. He's, you know, free as a breeze.
Yeah, all right. Easy breezy. Maidong. Excellent. Well, you can see March now going to take himself a Rift Scuttler. Double buff's already taken. Still has his Krug camp there, as Condi is going to spot him out. Tremor Sense, I believe, spotted what was going on.
He's trying to get the sneak on him. He's got the jump. Unburrow.
Yeah, there it is. Red buff's ticking down. March has actually taken a lot of damage here from Condi.
The Fog of War buff.
Yeah.
The surprise. Oh, wow. Look at him hunt.
Oh, my goodness. And Tremor Sense is going to spot him out completely.
This guy's going full piranha.
Oh, there it is. Will get himself another knock-up here, as March not going to be able to get that camp.
Yeah, Condi just full-on abusing March right now, and the reason why he's able to do this so safely as Maidong finally pulls off his lane and starts to assist his poor pony, stay Golden March, is the fact that Xie has complete control of the mid lane.
Yeah, has shoved Otto in completely, and he's actually very low here. You can see on your screen, flashing health bar, and he's going to go back. Does still have the flash, of course, so not in as much danger as far as ganks are concerned. But Xie, with this level of power, is a very scary prospect, as this is going the other way on the top side of the map, as Acorn most certainly asserting dominance.
Exactly, but this is how this works with Shen versus Aurelia. He has a massive creep wave. Aurelia approaches to CS. She gets hit by a taunt and immediately has to pay the price against all of those minions. So early TP advantage for Acorn. We'll see if he actually expends his or if they try to keep that advantage.
You can see Captive Audience going off here. Maidong avoids the damage. A Zero in a lot of trouble, actually. Mystic does a lot of damage back, doesn't get snared. The Bard does have to be a little bit more careful, maybe.
Should be noted that Condi is on the top side of the map. He spent so much time finding March, hunting him, and kind of making his life miserable that he's actually fallen behind in the jungle, 22-16. And he's not even going to get the top lane gank, as Acorn has an inkling that something is up and is going to burn his back.
Yeah, you can see March able to get a pink ward here in the jungle. So looking for Xie potentially as Beatrice comes in to help clear out these creeps.
That pink ward's name is Payback.
Yeah. They do need to check that. We'll see whether they do, as March is going to actually start this one up. You can see Condi is going to make his way down. I don't know whether March is going to be able to get enough work done here. Doesn't have Smite. As he's standing okay, Condi. Going to eventually spot him out there. Looking for the tunnel. Gets another knock-up. Deadly Flourish not going to find him there from Mystic. The blue is going to reset.
But again, confidence from a jungler to do that because his side lanes are winning. So before it was Condi's mid lane winning, this time around STYZ, Maidong, and Otto all had the initial push, giving March the green button to invade and look for that blue contest.
You can see now Shea building towards his Rod of Ages. First up here, Otto does have that tier completed.
Oh, they're going back in for blue. They're bringing reinforcements. No, they're looking bot lane. Here comes the pings.
Yeah, everyone looking to go in as March. Looking for it. The ultimate already there for Akon as the teleport's coming down. Mystic not quite dead just yet, but First Blood is going to go to March. Look at the damage as GA's trying to answer back. It's 2 kills already here for WE in responses. Never move on to STYZ. He gets knocked up. The flashes aren't there for WE and can't follow the low health Caitlyn. GA, no mana at all. They can't follow up, but it is a 2 for 2. However, First Blood did go to Saint.
Okay.
957 got some spare time.
So in the end, even on kills, 2 for 2, 4v5, what Acorn actually sacrifices as he's being chased now by Condi is he's missing 2 big waves up in the top lane. So now not only do we have a CS discrepancy between the 2 top laners, but more importantly a level and experience discrepancy. This is actually really hurts Acorn because he wasn't the benefactor of any of those kills. Had the assist but doesn't have the kill gold. He's now pretty far behind this Aurelia.
Yeah, it's 20 CS in the lead now for 957, who does get a free back here. So Phage is going to be oh no, can complete the Sheen. Just scary. Small burst trades are actually decent against Shen before he can set up that W.
Pretty confident.
Yeah, I'd say that too.
That said, Shen, yes, he's behind 957 in terms of his experience and his gold now. Still not in a terrible position because he is Shen. Kind of a low econ, I'm not going to call him a potato tank, but in that same vein, you know, kind of a vegetable.
Just going to stand there, clean out as much creeps as he can.
Especially with the Balmy Cinder, he now has even more pushing power. Again, it's about how he can get control of that creep wave and really use that to abuse Aurelia. She has nerfs to her ultimate. She technically does like fighting creep waves though with her ultimate in terms of health.
Whoa, there's the Deadly Flourish. Maidong taking a lot of damage. The first one hit. Will the third? STYZ didn't block it! You jerk! That's an easy kill there for WE as Otto does have the passive. GA's just fighting him though. The birds are going to bring back some health. March here as well. No Onslaught of Shadows just yet as Condi looking for the kill onto the rise. Nice Rune Prison comes in and Condi cannot attempt anything further. It's 957. He's got Transcendent Blades. Acorn now going to lose out on that trade, but it's a longer cooldown now.
Yep, that's the big thing. Big creep waves, yes, that's where Shin wants to fight. It's also where Aurelia wants to fight to get health back, as now mid lane.
Oh my goodness, another Deadly Flourish. WE playing around this Jhin so well as Condi flashes out of the way. Zero will get an answering kill. No! He's still alive! And Mystic blocks the shot. Otto's going to fall down as well as GA picks up the kill, and WE... not sure how that worked, but it did.
Team WE stepping up where Saint failed. Someone blocked for the support.
Exactly.
Maidong, you were sacrificed. STYZ's like, maybe later.
Yep.
But Zero, he had the headshot on him, ace in the hole, excuse me. And his team stepped up to the plate.
Damn right they did.
That is the perfect explanation between these two teams. Teamwork.
Yep. And Maidong's just saying to STYZ, now, see what they just did? Start doing that. Because it's not fair.
That was hilarious. He was literally like one Teemo unit to the right.
Precisely. No, Deadly Flourish going to come in here towards the bottom side of the map as STYZ continues to have a CS advantage to the tune of about 21. Starting to get large, but there's a big creep wave.
That CS advantage is pretty much entirely compensated for in the top lane. That's 82 to 58 is now mid lane. GA.
Oh my goodness, yeah, GA in trouble, but Condi all the way in here. Prey Seeker's going to land. GA just trying to clean up on the creep wave, get himself back up to health.
6.13, reminder that Swain took a pretty sizable nerf this patch on his ultimate cooldown from 10 seconds to 20.
Yeah.
So that's definitely hurting this Birdman sustain in lane.
You also can't toggle it quickly on and off anymore either. Although that's a little bit more for mana usage as Condi getting the vision down, looking for a dive potentially as March is going to find Zero. Takes the magical journey, but there's the Onslaught of Shadow. Zero in trouble, doesn't have the flash. as the Tempered Fate comes in, saves him for a moment, but Xie says, no, you're dead, mate. And it is going to be Zero falling.
And unfortunately, there's zero response from Team WE because Condi was upstairs looking for the gank on Acorn.
Yeah. Now still there, looking for it. We'll see
Round
whether
two.
he uses the W as the tunnel is still here. Not going to be able to find the auto attacks, but the W wears off, has himself a shield as there's another Blade Surge and 957 picks it up. And now Xie getting dove underneath this turret. Deadly Flourish comes in. The curtain call, will it be enough? Maidon caught out one more time as Otto says, I can block for you, buddy, don't worry. He's going to take a couple of celebratory turret shots as well. So answering kills across the map. And STYZ doing what a Caitlyn does best, which is kill structures.
And with this structure falling down, it will be the gold.
Oh, Mystic. Rune Prison is going to be enough. He wants to try and answer the kill, and he does with that auto attack onto Maidon. That did so much damage. 1 for 1 in the mid lane.
This is something that Spawn actually really likes to talk about, so I'm going to steal his point. Sorry, Spawn. Hate me later. When there's a Karma and when there's a Sivir on your team, it's really cool to just kind of hide in Fog of War or to empower ganks around corners with Fog of War. So, literally, Mystic would have been fine if the Karma wasn't there. He has the flash, he has the heal, he would have enough response time to get out of the Ryze's way if Ryze ran up onto him, but teams constantly using Sivir or Karma to just shorten that response time and suddenly be on top of you is kind of the make or break difference between getting a kill and just burning summoners.
Well, they certainly got the kill that time. However, Maidon sacrificed his life for it. They still have a huge lead on the bottom side of the map, which is only extending in favor of STYZ, who has the Berserker's Graves and the makings of that Infinity Edge. We'll see whether he goes now towards the Hurricane or whether he completes that item. Feels like he's snowballed enough to do so.
It's kind of a question of do they want a team fight versus do they want to siege. Because they're taking the dragon so early, I think it also kind of matters on what kind of gold value STYZ is sitting on when he backs. But kind of the Stixie special, who is a big advocate for Caitlyn, is if there's no dragon, so there's no reason to 5v5, you back, you pick up the Hurricane, and you empower your ability to take towers simply because itemizing into eye edge, there's no point to pick up the crit battle stat or expend money on that because you can't crit a tower.
Well, that's very true. As you can see, Saint are continuing their push as Transcendent Blades are going to pick up the creep wave. You can see WE trying to answer with this blue buff, but 957 can't really get much done here underneath the turret. Otto's going to be able to lock down the kill. Maidon close to falling down, but STYZ picks up the turret aggro, and this inner is going to fall. Traded for the outer and the blue buff, but that is definitely not worth it as now Xie continuing to push, but they're not stopping. Saint is saying, we're going to take your inhibitor. We're going to try and do so without a creep wave until it finally turns up.
They've got 3 creeps to their name, but they have 4 members, and it may be enough to take down an inhib.
Oh, the Tempered Fate is going to come in. Saves the turret for now as Maidon very, very low. Deadly Flourish picks up the kill as Acorn will take a fair bit of damage from that. And Condi turned on immediately. WE looking for more. Xie gets himself in the perfect position. Acorn going to be the first one to fall down. Can they get Xie? He's very low. Curtain call comes in as STYZ has to flash out of the way. Fancy footwork is there as Otto flashes on top of Zero. Will be able to pick up the kill eventually, but 957's on top of him. Another round of the ultimate, and it's Xie that picks up the kill. WE sacrifice their inhibitor turret, but they get a nice team fight.
But that team fight means nothing. So the reason why Saint were so keen to go ahead and take the turn as opposed to drawing out that team fight, running away for as long as possible and forcing out more abilities, because they got the TP for that. If they die that deep on the map this early in the game, there's literally nothing Team WE can do with that advantage. It's just pocket gold. They can't translate it into a dragon. The dragon was already taken. They can't run cross map for the Rift Herald or the Baron, because it's too far away. The death timers aren't short enough. So that's totally worth for Saint. Not only did they get the inhib tower, but they also forced out the TP cooldown. So there's going to be a discrepancy the next time Stand United is up.
Well, of course. On the other hand, I guess 957 did manage to get himself a little bit further ahead. Now has himself the Trinity Force. So as far as having the best chance here against Acorn in any split push scenario, we'll be feeling better. But you're right. WE just get a few cheeky kills on the back end, but the damage had been done. That base wide open. And once again, it's the turret lead here for Saint, keeping them in this game.
This is a much larger lead in terms of map control than the first game, however. Saint actually able to execute on their composition's win conditions by utilizing the Onslaught of Shadows with the Stand United and forcing team fights. So March actually showing up and being the much more successful Hecarim for Saint than Acorn.
Yeah. You can see Condi waiting around, does have the Tremor Sense, knows exactly where everyone is here on Saint. Is Condi looking to head back to base. Unbeknownst to WE. 957 very happily farming things out. Is Rift Herald being considered, or at least getting driven by, as Mystic, once again, the mid lane not where you want to be. As that ward is going to spot him out.
Yeah, we're pretty much waiting on cooldowns. The Stand United is back up, so it's just now a question about where it's going to be used.
Yeah. Jie has his teleport. And this Jhin does have a lot of wave clear, so that Dancing Grenade is enough, especially now that it's maxed out.
Saint smartly playing towards that open inhibitor, threatening that with Acorn, now that he has the double teleport abilities.
Mm-hmm. Jie, however, now with the ability to clear out these waves, that Rod of Ages stacking up quite nicely, continuing to retain a lead here against Otto.
What's scary, though, is that Team WE, they don't have the Sivir this time around. Yes, they have great engagement potential with Jhin and decent siege potential when they use his final or his curtain call on towers. But eventually, this tower will fall because Jhin does not have the wave clear that Sivir does to keep these waves clear. Wave clear, wave clear, wave clear.
Waves clear.
Keep the waves off the tower. That's, yep, got it, nailed it.
Precisely.
Put it in the bin.
One of those. But you can see Saint not wanting to move towards this turret as the Magical Journey actually perturbs them from the siege. You can see Zero just backing away immediately afterwards. Does buy a lot of time here for WE. That was cute.
Playing with Fog of War. They don't have forward enough vision is the issue to siege this tower safely. They have good flanking vision in the river, but Saint need to pick up their wards, and they need to put them offensively inside Team WE's jungle. They should already have that on the bottom side just because they have so much control over that bottom side by taking down the inhib tower. But they're actually just... Maidong, in particular, is failing to move his vision for his team to allow them to take that mid-tier tower. And they're losing a lot of momentum and time to exploit their advantage. This is pretty much the story of what happened in Game 1 and how they lost. Like, Saint, you're in control right now, pull the trigger, or watch it walk by.
Yeah, well, certainly haven't been able to find it. Bit of a battle over vision, but otherwise not too much there. As you can see, STYZ picks himself up the recurve bow, going towards that Hurricane next. Shea going to grab himself his own blue buff. You saw lane assignments working out quite nicely here for WE now that the Swain is against the Shen. We'll see whether 957 is going to find as much success against the Rise. Now has Merc Treads, multiplicative tenacity scaling with the Ionian Fervor passive. It's pretty beautiful stuff here for the Aurelia. Not going to be stunned for very long. I just wanted to say multiplicative, I have to admit.
Yeah, Aurelia definitely hitting a power break point. With her current itemization, she will be a big threat to that backline, so STYZ. Still having to deal with Otto, though, 4-2 and 2 on this Rise. So will 957 actually be enough to get through both carries, especially in tandem and against the Stan United shield?
Let's mention that the fact that this is second Mountain Drake, and WE probably don't want to give up another run of Drakes. It was 4 in a row for Saint last time around, and they had to deal with it. An emergency smite is probably not the best idea, as March launches himself on top of this Rift Scuttler. Zero wants to clear out some traps. WE finally in position, though.
They're setting up to fight this. Now, Saint, they can stall it a bit and also trade this for a free tower. You see Acorn up in that top lane. Doesn't have TP, but does have the Stan United. So we'll see who pulls the trigger first. If it's going to be the Tempered Fate and the Curtain Call. There's Tempered Fate.
Yeah, it's going to land on STYZ as well. Exactly the perfect target. Nevermove's going to come in as there's the stun. My God, this Bard is fantastic as Otto going to be the first one to fall down, but STYZ can't get away from Condi, who gets the knock-up. Acorn trying to be as much of a nuisance as possible, but it's not going to be enough. Another slow comes in from Zero's Bard as Condi tanking the turret with impunity, and Beatrice going to help out. Acorn's going to then fall down, and WE looking for the clean ace to wrap this one up. It's not going to happen as Zero sacrifices himself, but Mystic closes it out. My God, what a play out of WE. Maidong did survive, so So it was a 4-for-1 in the end.
A perfectly timed creep wave as well, right behind Team WE. And again, they get a team fight, immediately transfer into an objective. So here's the thing. Team WE, both these compositions, they have the ability to say go. Team WE beat them to the punch. They hit STYZ with the 10th Fate, and it forces the Stand United to be used on the Caitlyn instead of in tandem with March to have that big onslaught of shadows into a multi-man taunt, which means that a lot of CC or the potential CC out of Saint's composition is being denied. STYZ gets off 3 auto attacks, immediately dies, and the rest of Team WE, this Aurelia Massive, just dive that backline and destroy everyone.
This is only going to make 957 even bigger. Goes back, grabs himself the Kindle Gem.
Even bigger, the Kindle Gem.
The Kindle Gem and a Ruby Crystal,
I was
might
expecting
I add.
something bigger as well.
Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate. We'll see what he can do after this creep wave towards the bottom side of the map. Of course, still 30 CS in the lead. But didn't get a lot of those kills, of course, so unfortunately was only able to get those red items that don't actually do all that much.
Did pick up the tower as well as the Mountain Dragon, though, so Team WE sitting in a much healthier spot.
Yeah.
As well as the gold lead by a good 3K.
And Mystic even grabs himself a cheeky Deadly Flourish red buff.
That's ridiculous that they have the gold lead right now. And it's pretty much all in the back pocket of 957 CS. Simply because Saint have an extra tower.
And 5 kills on Mystic.
Saint have an extra tower. Like, that's pretty much a free another 1,000 gold. Like, this is absurd that they are this close despite the gold spread.
Yeah, no, precisely. And the fact that Mystic is so far behind, I mean, I could imagine that the Caitlyn versus Jhin gold is actually largely to do with the turret rather than anything else, just because CS does amount to a lot, about 13, I believe.
Yeah, it's also the spread in the kills themselves. The fact that the assists are so much better spread on Team WE versus on Saint.
And man, Zero in that last team fight played so incredibly well. I have to just mention it one more time. This Bard looks stunning. Has never moved. Once again, going to find Acorn. Torment. Going to do exactly that for a moment.
What this comes down to now is that Team WE are looking for this mid-tier tower. And here's why. They're picking off STYZ. See ya.
No flash there as well. All too easy, and STYZ is going to get blown up. That long-range engage with the Tempered Fate plus that Deadly Flourish, it is so difficult to deal with without a flash button.
And STYZ should have seen that coming. Again, this is the last standing outer tower, so it's the most wanted and easiest objective for WE to take right now. They're just going to exploit their side lanes, try to catch you cheating through the jungle, and continue to chip away at mid. Although if no one answers 957, he will just take the free objective. Yeah,
well, you can see Xie doing the same thing towards the top side, as 957 has a lot of damage here as well to work with. Shadow Dash not going to get 957 underneath the turret, but Hidden Style actually doing some work here against Acorn. Gold lead, sorry, CS lead actually extending. Below half health is that turret. WE going to go back, spend some of their hordes of gold. Oh my goodness, Xie already has that Spirit Visage as well. I mean, it's so hard for any of these magic damage dealers to do anything to this Swain.
Or Aurelia also picked up the Spirit Visage.
Yeah, true. So not just those red items that we were talking about before. An actual big item, which does work in 10 with her kit so effectively.
It was just the lead up to it was so good. He's going to have a massive item, the Kindle Gem.
Yeah. Unfortunate. You can see Mystic going towards that Maw of Malmortius for his 3rd armor penetration item. Of course, that Duskblade of Drakthar already in his back pocket. Thank you so much. So I just love the name of that item.
And popularized because how it works with Jin's Q.
Yeah. Not to mention stacking armor pen. Saw Uzi actually do it on Ezreal the other day. Crazier things have happened.
Crazier things will happen. It's the LPL.
Very true. Of course, next game, ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be RNG taking on Game Talents. As Otto going to get knocked up and destroyed. My God, Mystic does some damage now. That Deadly Flourish, all too easy to land with a knocked up target.
Just standing on a ward. Didn't sweep it out. Otto has a blue trinket. He doesn't have a sweeper. Trying to set up for an assassination by waiting in a bush, waiting for someone to walk into him. And it's picked off instead. And with Ryze being dead, it's going to be a free tower as they now look to siege into 2.
Yeah, Xie was looking to try and lock down Acorn there as well, but mainly just wants to keep him busy here. Does have the ability to get him out of that ultimate once he does have that never move off cooldown.
But again, we're in a situation where Team WE are pressuring all 3 lanes. Xie breaks bottom.
Yeah, look at the slows coming down onto Akon here as well. This inner turret taking a lot of damage as March gets himself on top of the Swain.
Xie needs to be really careful. He does not have blue buff. Swain is incredibly... oh, he does have blue buff. He was just so massive. I couldn't see it.
Yeah. Massive in a lot of different ways right now as well, Proskeren.
If his dress wasn't so big...
Robe.
Sure.
Well, you can see Saint now trying desperately to hold onto these inner turrets, but they're going to lose all of them. Plus bottom falling down first, and March actually taking a lot of damage. That Deathfire touch is actually almost threatening his life there. Needed the shield from Maidong.
But that's now 2 free objectives where Saint pretty much just watched them happen.
Yeah. And that is Azonia's Hourglass now done for GA. 3 big items for the Swain. Not to mention Titanic Hydra done for Condi as well, so he's actually a split-pushing threat here at the same time. Going from frightening to more frightening here for Saint fans, and this is not like game number 1. This is double the kills now in favor of WE. They are in so much control. 7,000 gold the lead, approaching 8. They have complete control of this map.
And 10 minutes
they know
early.
how to do it. Exactly.
It was pretty much the same story, though, from Game 1. This idea that Saint, they were in control, they were doing really well in the early game, and then it came time to really execute on their mid-game power, frankly using the Hecarim and Shin in tandem in one of their side waves, either with Caitlyn or Ryze, and trying to be that big 5v5. But unfortunately, just not having the synergy or the cohesion and losing out to Team WE's teamwork around a dragon fight.
Yeah, precisely, and WE just managed to get it all together a little bit earlier on here. I mean, the game before, that was the second Infernal Drake going for free to Saint, as Condi just nips away the 3rd in a row Mountain Drake.
And this is scary because now it's double Mountain, which means that the Baron potential and the Baron Shred potential by Team WE is astronomical.
It was already pretty huge with their consistent damage that they did already have. 957, Xie, Mystic, all do a lot of work, not to mention Condi with his more damage-focused build. Now with Asterix Gauge also done. He's a battle Rek'Sai right now. 507. Been sleeping on this guy a little bit. This guy's been doing work.
And immediately you start to see the Son of Baron assisting his team by setting up around that big purple worm. So moving into the area, taking control of the True Vision and the Scuttle Crab. And now looking at Otto, who is...
The exhaust comes in. Nice magical journey comes down there as March actually looking for Condi. Does have the Stand United on him as well as Condi has been caught out. Tempered Fate comes in to buy some time for WE as now 957 gets on top of STYZ. Mystic takes down Maidong first off as STYZ gets over the wall, but it's not enough. Blade Surge gets 957 on top of him. Has to move out of the fight, but look at Mystic's damage. It's despicable. Equilibrium Strike as well doing the work onto Akon as finally that Duskblade locks down the Shen, who just cannot do anything right here. March is going to fall to Xie, who just birds his face off, and the ace comes in for WE in trade for just Condi.
And instead, because their jungler is dead, they're going to go ahead, grab their waves, because all 3 waves have been pushing this entire game, and immediately ram it up mid lane. We'll take the inhib off of this. We'll see if they actually get more, because there's also a bottom wave that they can swing to if they're going to pull back towards this Baron and join up with Rek'Sai, because Rek'Sai's ultimate is up.
Yeah, he's going to be available, and he's going to be respawning very, very soon. So Inhib falls in the mid lane. All of the waves pushing through, and let's have a look at this one again.
So check out Condi. Condi pretty much completely outplays March and Otto here. He flashes, tips Otto up with some CC. He then gets locked, or chain CC down with the Tempered Fate. And it allows and buys enough time for the rest of Team WE to set up for this team fight. Mystic, of course, using his Curtain Call, blowing up Maidong, and then 957, the hero that then finds the Caitlyn standing in the back. And from there, Team WE, they have the numbers advantage. They rip Saint apart from the inside out.
Yeah, and of course that sidestep from 957 gets himself out of death threat from that that taunt as well. Gets the Equilibrium Strike for the maximum stun, and then just Blade Surges his way to a creep to safety, and Akon falls down.
But
well
still,
played across the board, honestly.
A lot of respect given to Saint because Team WE don't immediately rush towards the Baron despite having the Rek'Sai ultimate available. They take the inhib and they go back to playing pressure around the waves. So Saint do have a window of opportunity to move in here and place down some vision, possibly look for a pick.
Well, you can see they can possibly find one here as well, as Nevermove is going to catch out Otto as the Zhonya's Hourglass goes down. Bird's doing some work here. There's now the teleports coming in, and that's exactly what Saint wanted. Now the split push option not there
Tempered
for
Fate.
WE. Now Condi looking for more. There's the curtain call as Tempered Fate did come down towards the top side. Maidong having to tank this one up once again as Mystic misses the last bolt and STYZ takes down Chie. But look at the damage out of WE right here as Zero gets himself to safety. Acorn going to get beaten to the punch there by Mystic, who wants to get taunted because auto-attacking this Shen is exactly what he wants to be doing. Deadly Flourish stuns him up and WE pick up everyone bar March.
Saint thought that they had a pick, but trying to pick off the tankiest member on the side of Team WE. Again, Condi is a full damage Rek'Sai running around. Xie buys enough time as Swain for the rest of his team to turn everything around. A lot of ultimates were blown on the Swain. The Tempered Fate comes through. They find the counter pick and the Nexus turrets.
Yeah, they're looking for all of this as well as the game is well and truly over. WE take down both Nexus turrets. March is going to get caught out here as well as Maidong does manage to respawn, but he's respawning to a dead Nexus. WE are able to take down Saint 2-0 in our first match of week 6. First game was a test. Second game, WE looking back on form.
This is exactly what Team WE needed. We talked about how in the cross-conference week 1 and 2, they had a very rough couple of series, losing the first 2 in week 1, then dropping a map to Invictus Gaming. They needed to come back very strong against Saint.
Yeah.
Looked shaky in the early game, but cleaned it up nicely with the 2-0. Welcome back, Team WE.
Yeah, and hopefully this will actually spell momentum here for this team as well. We mentioned their run was difficult. We'll see whether they are going to be able to find more victories as this LPL season continues. Of course, still 2 weeks of the cross-conference, more opportunities to face teams and get some points that they wouldn't otherwise be able to swing. So now, team's going to shake hands. You can see Acorn there looking a little bit dejected as Zero gives him a lot of respect. See whether Saint can also bounce back, because this is a team that has been showing more and more progress, despite the fact that their record hasn't shown it. 0-8 is not a great scoreline. Still looking better and better as WE take a well-deserved bow. And see
Keep
what
your
their next
dreams
performance
alive.
can be like. Yeah, exactly right. So they are